Show me how the ideal of serving the people is being carried out, Brian has brought me to the desert in northern China.
This is Ningxia province, not only one of the smallest of China's provinces. Most areas here are dry, windy, and sandy year-round. Land desertification is a serious problem.
Okay.
It's a traditional game called jianzi, and it is played all over China.
Brian says our guide to Ningxia will join us soon. Meanwhile, we have some local fun.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
An American friend who has lived in Ningxia for many years knows this area better than I do. I'm going to introduce her to Maria.
Oh, yes, Melissa. Hey.
Ciao.
Hi, Melissa. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend from Italy, Maria.
Ciao. Nice to meet you.
Very nice.
Well, how far is it? How long do we have to drive?
Well, about 5 to 6 hours.
We better go.
You have to work out.
Melissa Smith is now an English teacher at a university in Yinchuan, the capital of Ningxia. In 1991, when she was a graduate student at the University of Illinois, she came to China and fell in love with it. After graduation, she temporarily stayed in many places in China, but finally chose Ningxia as her home.
I really have seen huge changes here. The first year here was 1993, which was, is that 30 years ago? Almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
So you
There was
can
nothing.
you can imagine. Well, yeah, I have some photos I can show you. A lot of this area was desert. You know, when I first came here, it all looked a lot like that.
Wow.
Just a
right.
desert.
Look without Chile.
And then that's the main street through the biggest city in the southern part of Ningxia. That's Guyuan City, and that was the main street in 1993.
Wow.
And if you went there now, it's city. It's all city right there.
One of the changes in Ningxia is evident all around us. Villagers from the poorest southern regions have been relocated to new towns like this one, with modern infrastructure and living facilities. It's done in cooperation with a richer province in southeastern China, Fujian. It's a successful national model of poverty alleviation.
People don't know about Ningxia. They're not as willing to come here, so I have a lot more opportunities to use my education background in order to join in the building of this place.
Melissa has lived in China for more than 30 years and almost regards herself as a Chinese. As a teacher, Melissa supports these projects like all the Chinese people. Education is the key of poverty alleviation. So she donated school materials and sent them to relatively remote schools on a regular basis.
Here it is, huh?
Oh, look, Esther's here waiting for us.
We've arrived during playtime.
Nice to meet you, Esther.
Maria and Brian.
Brian. Your English is so good.
Thank you.
Buongiorno. Wow.
Great, that was really fun.
Melissa and Maria are in their element. In no time, Maria is organizing an Italian game.
Giro, giro, tondo.
Giro, giro, tondo.
We say giro, giro, tondo.
Giro, giro, tondo.
Quanto è bello il mondo.
Quanto è bello il mondo.
Gira la terra.
Gira la terra.
Gira tutto intorno.
Gira tutto attorno.
Gira, gira, gira. Tutti giù per terra.
And then it's my turn to learn a Chinese game.
丢手绢，正好我们站了一个圈。来，
After the games, we have to remember, we came to help with study, not just to play.
Part of China's relocation plan for poor villagers in Ningxia has been to build many new schools, including this one in Xiangtong village. Chinese schooling is a bit more formal than we are used to in the West.
So now we introduce ourselves properly to the children.
但今天呢，我们有几位老师？4位。那你们还记不记得我们呀？记得。我是谁？马老师。这位老师呢？
你没记得我了，伤心啊！
林老师。
林老师。
It's Brian too.
Brian 老师，对。
Brian 老师，林老师。
林老师。
这位老师呢？
要不要写？我是这个林，对不对？
认识吗？
可以吗？你认识吗？好。幸会。
以后我们就记住林老师了，好吗？好。这位老师呢？马老师。
哇哦。
太好了，你知道他的全名是什么？Maria。那接下来老师要问大家一个问题：你们喜欢读书吗？喜欢。太棒了。
And then it's time for the books.
This is for you. This is for you.
The book Melissa has chosen encourages the children to find the best in themselves.
This is to you. This is for you. 哦，有一点难过。好。
Education is crucial to the elimination of poverty. Making education available to every child has been a policy since the days of Chairman Mao. Currently, China's compulsory education system is widespread, but to get these village children to read is still a priority.
小爱的想法是什么？
But it's not all about learning from books. The exercise helps them to be positive towards each other as well.
最后小爱觉得最大的优点是什么？
帮助人。
现在谁的优点是帮助别人？谁的优点是帮助别人？
爱别人，去爱别人，帮助别人，爱别人，
好不好？好。
The changes here can be easily seen. Most of the residents in mountain areas have been relocated to new towns, and their villages are getting better. I did not expect to find so many houses in Shantung that are new with access to water and electricity.
In the elementary school we just visited, I met an adorable little girl named Tianxia.
She now has 8 people here.
I liked her so much. She invites us all to visit her house and meet her mother.
High school, the next in middle school.
Wow.
Hello.
你的房子很漂亮。你好。
你好。
Thought I was going to visit some place very poor, you know, and instead I'm surprised.
我刚来的时候，那时候贫穷，现在好多了。
So it was very difficult at the beginning.
对，刚来的时候特别难。那时候要是走街上的话都没有车，直接就是那种三轮车。三轮车是土路，你看现在这个路它也是那种硬化路啊，房子也全都盖的新房子，扶贫政策真的相当的好，对老百姓来说。
Tianxia's home is totally different from what I have imagined, and from the houses of Shihaigu in the old pictures that Melissa showed me as well. People here are simple and optimistic, and lived in good conditions. I am so curious about what their lives were when they first came here.
A lot of more they were living in often rammed earth buildings. Those houses could only last, 10, 20 years before they would start to crack and crumble. This house will last You know,
Forever.
Forever.
It's a real house.
And it's 5 years old, but look at how comfortable it still is. I mean, it's still, and they are taking such good care of it, and you can sense the pride.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they're
you
doing
can,
it.
and that just makes life so much easier when you have a comfortable home to come home to from school or from work or from the very hard work that she does.
Yes.
Today, poverty is still a major global challenge. However, as one of the world's most populous countries, China has addressed the problem effectively. It's truly a miracle.
My trip in Ningxia will end very soon. Here I often hear a word, happiness. I can feel that their days are not what they used to be. At the same time, they are constantly improving their living environment. In Shihaigu, there are a large group of people like Tianxia's mom. Because of the support and leadership of the Chinese government, they are full of confidence in the days ahead. I feel I have to do something to make this trip rewarding.
Today is March 12th, the Arbor Day of China. We decide to each plant a tree on the hillside.
I believe that people here will be happier in the future, just as these small trees will slowly grow into big ones. I am curious what better life looks like in the perspectives of Chinese.